Bro, oh my god. So as you can see in the title, I'm gonna be predicting the record for each and every NFL team for this next season, but I already filmed this once, and the screen recording on my laptop got completely messed up. The entire thing is one frozen screen, and I spent like half an hour going by each and every team's schedule and clicking win and loss for each single one of them. It just sucks that the entire thing was gone and I have to redo the entire thing. But anyways, today I'm gonna redo it, and I think I'm gonna do it a little better. I'm gonna talk more about the team and less about their schedule. Talk what I think about the team, what they lost this year, what they gained this year. I will talk a little bit about their schedule, but I'm gonna focus more on the team as a whole. But I guess without further ado, let's get into it again. Today we're gonna start in the AFC. As the first seed in the AFC, I got the Buffalo Bills going 14-3. And last year they were a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, and they really didn't lose much. I mean, their defense is still gonna be just as good. Josh Allen might be even better than he was last year. I think they have an amazing shot to go to the Super Bowl this year. I even think their run game, which was extremely weak last year, is gonna be slightly better. But I mean, there's not really much to say about the Bills because of how much they are similar to last year, and then last year they were really good, especially towards the end of the year. Their secondary is going to be healthy again and contenders for the best secondary in the league. I mean, that's all I really got to say. I think they're going to be really good this year. I have them 14-3 as the number 1 seed in the AFC. As the number 2 seed in the AFC, I got the Chargers going 13-4. Now last year, Chargers had an amazing offense. I think it was top 2 in yards per drive and points per drive. They were a top 2 offense statistically. Justin Herbert was absolutely amazing. So was Austin Eckler. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are great pass catchers. Their O-line is going to get even better this year. Defense is what sold them. Their run defense was so bad, they had a bottom 3 defense in the league. But now they added JC Jackson, they added Khalil Mack. I mean, this team is going to be insane. Now they have one of the best front sevens in the league. They have one of the best secondaries in the league. They're going to have one of the best offenses in the league. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the first seed in the AFC. I think they have a real good shot to make the Super Bowl as well. I have them going 13-4. A third in the AFC, I actually have the Ravens. I have them going 12-5 and barely winning the division. I mean, this team was 8-3 last year at one point. They were the first seed in the AFC, but then Lamar Jackson and the rest of his team did their best Christian McCaffrey impression and all went down, and then they went on like a 6-game losing streak, finished 8-9. I mean, this team is capable of going really far. I mean, they added Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum in the draft. Lamar and hopefully the rest of the team is going to be pretty healthy again. I mean, I think they really do have a good shot to win the division. I could see them losing it to the Bengals, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I mean, this team is really good. They were first seed in the AFC last year, and I don't think they lost anyone too important. They're going to be pretty good again. And at the 4 seed and the last division winner, I got the Colts also going 12-5. Colts are a really good team, and I think they're going to improve from last year record-wise. They upgraded from Carson Wentz to Matt Ryan, and I think Carson Wentz has a higher ceiling than Matt Ryan, but I think Matt Ryan has more experience. He has a much higher floor, and I think he won't lose him as many games as Carson Wentz did. They still got Jonathan Taylor, who had the best running back season in the league last year. They're strong O-line. Michael Pittman's a stud. Matt Ryan's an upgrade, and their defense is still going to be solid. They have like the best middle linebacker holding down their defense. But I think they're going to be pretty solid. I have them winning their division at 12-5, getting the 4th seed in the AFC. And the 5th seed of the AFC, I got the Bengals also going 12-5. I mean, like I said earlier, I won't be surprised if they win their division. I mean, they just went to the Super Bowl and upgraded their worst part of the team, which was the offensive line. Joe Burrow is going to continue to improve, same with Jamar Chase. I think the Bengals do have a good shot to win their division, but I think they slightly lose it to the Ravens because last year, I mean, they had absolutely no injuries. They won some games that maybe they shouldn't have won. I mean, their defense is good, their offense is good, their special teams is good. They're a good team. And at the 6th seed, I have the Chiefs going 11-6, getting a wild card spot. I don't think the loss of Tyreek is going to affect them as much as everybody thinks it will. I think Tyreek is an absolute game changer, but don't forget, you still got Mahomes, you still got second best tight end in the league, you still got Andy Reid, and then I think Juju's going to have a really solid year. I do worry a little bit about their defense, but I think they still will be pretty solid. I don't think they'll miss the playoffs. And then at the final playoff seed, I got the Broncos going 11-6, getting the last wild card spot. The past few years, the Broncos have been labeled as a team that's just a quarterback away, and they finally got their guy in Russell Wilson.
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
He did have a down year in Seattle, but he was injured for a bit. But if Russell Wilson can adapt to this team pretty quickly and be elite, then I think they have a really good shot to go far. I mean, they got Russell Wilson, they got Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, and they got Javonte Williams, who's a beast. Their defense is amazing, their secondary is amazing. And then at the 8th seed, barely missing the playoffs, I got the Miami Dolphins, who has actually improved a lot. They obviously got Tyreek Hill, they got one of the fastest offenses in the league. I think they barely missed the playoffs because of just how tough the AFC is. Then at 9 and 8, missing the playoffs, I got the Raiders. Yes, I do have all 4 AFC West teams with a winning record. Now, Raiders are good. They got Devontae Adams this year. They have Hunter Renfrow. They have Darren Waller. They have Derek Carr. They have Josh Jacobs. They have really good skill positions. They also added Chandler Jones on that defense, so they're going to be pretty solid, but I don't think they're better than the other 3 teams in their division. Then at 9 and 8, I got the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Derrick Henry's still on this team, but Ryan Tannehill is just not great. Lost AJ Brown. They did replace him with Treylon Burks and Robert Woods, but they're not as good. O-line shaky. I mean, their defense will be pretty good, but I just have them going 9-8 and missing the playoffs. Then at the 11th seed, I have the Steelers going 7-10. The Steelers have a very shaky quarterback room at Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and Kenny Pickett. I do think Kenny Pickett was the best QB from the draft, but I mean, he's still not amazing. He's still going to need time to develop. I mean, their offensive line's not amazing. Najee's pretty good. Their receiving core's pretty good. Their pass defense is going to be pretty good. I mean, obviously, TJ Watt is on that team. Pretty sure last year they had one of the worst run defenses in the league, so that's going to be an issue. But I just don't see them having a winning record. I mean, people say, oh, they haven't had a losing record in 20 years. Do those people really think that means they're never going to have a losing record? I mean, that streak's going to end eventually, and I have it this year to end the streak. I mean, the past 2 years, I did think they're going to have a losing record, and they surprised me, but I'm not learning from my mistake. I'm still putting them at 7-10. Then at the 12th seed, I also have the Browns at 7-10. I mean, with Deshaun Watson, I think they're Super Bowl contenders, but he got suspended for 11 games. He won't come back till week 13 against the Texans, which is coincidence, I guess. Yeah, with Deshaun Watson, they're Super Bowl contenders, but he won't be there for a while. They have a pretty tough schedule. I have them going 7-10. Then at the 13th seed, you might find this surprising, but I have the Patriots. I have them going 6-11. I don't think they're that good. I think Mac Jones is overrated. They don't have great skill position players. Their offensive line is pretty decent. Their defense might be pretty decent, but I mean, besides that, I mean, you do have Bill Belichick, but I don't think he's going to be able to do much with this roster. I also do think he has been declining over the past few years, and I actually do think they're worse than this next team, which is the Jets at also 6-11. I think the Jets are actually better team-wise, but Zach Wilson's going to be gone for about 4 weeks. The Jets do have a slightly tougher schedule, but I do think the Jets are better as a team. They're a really young team with a lot of great potential. At the 15th seed, I have the Jaguars going 4-13. I think they will improve as a team since Urban Meyer left. I mean, he was just a joke of a coach. But their schedule is harder than it was last year, so I don't have them winning many more games. And then last, but probably least, I have the Texans at 2-15. This is just not a great team. Davis Mills is pretty underrated. You do have Brandon Cooks, who is also pretty underrated. Besides that, you don't have much on the offense. You don't got much on the defense. This is going to be a pretty bad team. Moving on to the NFC, I have the Buccaneers getting the first seed at 14-3. Now, I do think they're about the same team as last year. I mean, they did lose AB. They did lose Gronk. Chris Godwin's going to be out for a while, but they still do have Mike Evans. They got Russell Gage. They got a washed up Julio. They also did lose a couple pieces of their O-line, but their O-line's still going to be solid. Their defense is still going to be solid. Their receiving core is still going to be good. They have playoff money, and they have Tom Brady, of course. I think they're going to be on the same level team-wise as last year, maybe even a little bit worse, but their schedule is kind of easy this year, so I have them going 14-3. Then at the second seed, call me biased if you want to, but I got the Rams going 13-4. I can honestly see them getting the first seed. I mean, they're a really good team. They did lose OBJ, Von Miller, Sebastian Joseph Day, Darius Williams, Austin Corbett, Andrew Whitworth. They did kind of lose a lot, and their O-line's not going to be that great, but they also gained Allen Robinson. They gained Bobby Wagner, who isn't in the best shape of his career, but he's still going to be pretty decent. Their defense still has stars. Their offense still has stars. And their special teams is pretty good, and they got Sean McVay at coach. I think they're going to be 13-4, have a really good shot to make the Super Bowl. Then I got the Packers at the third seed going 12-5. I don't think the loss of Devontae will affect them as much as other people think. Aaron Rodgers is like 10-1 without Devontae Adams in his whole career. Yeah, I still think they're going to be a pretty good team. Their defense might be the best in the league. They got the best QB in the league. They got the best running back duo in the league. They got kind of solid receivers. They have a great O-line. They're still going to be a really good team. Then at the fourth seed, I got the Eagles going 11-6. I do think they're slightly better than the Cowboys. They got A.J. Brown this year. Jalen Hurts will improve a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be amazing. Their defense is going to be solid. I think they're a pretty solid team overall, going 11-6. And at the 5 seed, actually having a better record than the 4 seed, I got the San Francisco 49ers going 12-5. 49ers went to the NFC Championship last game, and I think they're kind of upgrading at quarterback with Trey Lance. Even though I haven't seen Trey Lance play as much, I do have more hope in him than I do with GBG, which is kind of weird, but I don't know. I do think Kyle Shanahan can make almost any quarterback look good with the scheming. They still got Debo. They still got Elijah Mitchell. They still got the best tight end in the league. They still got an amazing offensive line. They still got a great defense. They're going to be a pretty solid team. And at the 6th seed, I got the Minnesota Vikings. The last 2 years have been saying they're going to make the playoffs, and the last 2 years they disappointed, but I think this is actually their year. They got Justin Jefferson, who's off to one of the greatest starts to a wide receiver's career of all time. They got Kevin O'Connell, which was the Rams offensive coordinator, so he's going to scheme up Justin Jefferson just like he did with Cooper Kupp, and Justin Jefferson honestly might have like a really, really top tier year like Cooper Kupp did last year. I don't think it'll be on the same level, but it might be. And they obviously still have Adam Thielen, they have KJ Osborne, they have Delvin Cook, they got Kirk Cousins, who won't throw away a lot of games, but he won't like win you a lot of games. And at the final wildcard spot, I have the Saints. This defense has a chance to be one of the best in the league. I mean, that defense has Cameron Jordan, Marcus Davenport, Demario Davis, Tyron Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May, Marshawn Lattimore. This defense is going to be really good, especially their secondary. And then on their offense, they have Michael Thomas coming back. They have Jarvis Landry. They have Chris Olave. They have Alvin Kamara. They have Jameis Winston, who I think is really underrated. I think they're going to be a pretty solid team, getting a wild card spot, going 10-7. Then the Cowboys, I have them barely missing the playoffs at 9-8. Cardinals, I also have 9-8, missing the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be as good as last year. And a pretty big jump from the 9 seed to the 10 seed. I have the Panthers going 5-12. They did upgrade at QB. I do think Baker's kind of overrated though. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey's back healthy. I mean, I do have him on one of my fantasy teams. Their defense isn't great. Their offense is going to be above average at best. Then I have Washington at the 11 seed going 5-12. They did upgrade at quarterback as well. Besides Terry McLaurin, they don't have many extremely bright spots on that team. And at the 12 seed, I got the Lions. I mean, you can tell this team really wants to win, and I'm actually rooting for them to be better than this, but I just don't think they're there yet. And at the 13th seed, I got the New York Giants going 4-13. They're not going to be great either. I mean, they got Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau in the draft, but they still got a tough schedule. I mean, I don't think they're going to be that good. And at the 14th seed, I have the Seattle Seahawks going 3-14. This team lost Russell Wilson. Only bright spots on the team are Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Rashad Penny. And at the 15th seed, I have the Falcons going 2-15. They do have Drake London, who I think will be pretty good. They have Kyle Pitts, who's a generational talent. They have Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder at QB. Their O-line isn't good. Cordell Patterson is going to be pretty good, but their defense is going to suck. Their coaching is going to suck. Their QBs are going to suck. They're going to suck. And last, but also maybe least, you got the Bears. Justin Fields has played in preseason, and he doesn't look like he's improved much in comparison to last year. Their O-line might get him literally killed. His team and their coaching is just going to really suck this year. Anyways, that is my final prediction on each and every NFL team. Let me know what team you think I'm overrating or underrating, and comment below what record you think your team is going to have. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to try to post as much as possible since Madden 23 came out. Anyways, that's all I have for you. See you next time, boys. Peace.